Hey friends, sorry I'm just out the shower. You ever wonder why there's so many pesky immigrants coming into America? You wonder that? You wonder why? Come here. It's because they're actually indigenous people of the Americas. Yeah, you're just being a colonizer.
See, for 15 to 23,000 years before colonizers came and invaded, there have been the indigenous people of this land. And yes, Africans are quite evidently the first people in many places all across the planet via land and sea. From the oldest, most modern-looking human found in Ethiopia, dated to be 200,000 years old, to the one in Romania, dated to be around 40,000 years old, to the youngest in the planet, but oldest in the Americas, Lucia, dated to be 11,500 years old. We know Africans have been seafaring and land bridging for quite some time. It's just that here in the Americas, they would have mixed with the later waves of migrants who also came from Africa, spent a lot of time in Asia, got chiseled jawlines to fend off the cold in Siberia, and trekked across the Bering Strait in what's now Alaska, all the way down to the Americas, which phenotypically has led to diverse looks like this. In Central America, some of those indigenous groups include the Maingna people from Nicaragua or the Lenca people from Honduras. But see, when the English and Spanish colonizers came and led to the mass side of indigenous people here, about 94% of all indigenous people were wiped out. The rest mixed with the next waves of now kidnapped Africans and even their colonizers, and sometimes perhaps some less than savory ways, to make the very diverse looks we see today. Now, at first, the Spanish and English colonizers fought each other to take land that it wasn't there. But then they eventually teamed up and decided, hey, let's enslave people together, paying Central American farmers cents on the hour to sharecrop or farm for them so that the colonizer descendants can get richer. And when the people fought back, your government paid to have many of them exterminated, sending horrific signs to the people to not fight their oppression and, just take it. For those who survived, they were deeply traumatized and even tried to escape, to where they'd hear things like this.
Do not come. Do not come.
That is, unless the U.S. needed them to do long, dirt cheap labor under harsh and toxic conditions. This happened with the Bracero Act, really a program that hired undocumented Mexican laborers during a labor shortage in World War II, used them, dogged them out, and spit them back out. Coincidentally, this also has been happening to predominantly black men in U.S. prisons ever since the 13th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution was passed to allow for cheap or slave labor for anyone locked up in this country. Hence, many unjust laws and a whole music and movie industry promoting just that. And when prisons are overcrowded, they just make more because prisons are privatized now, which means prisons are a business in America for slave labor. They've even been making them cushier for folks now. And when the border detention facilities are too crowded and are pushed hard enough by human rights groups, then the government has to post them up for a few days at hotels and let their American families provide them food because that's cheaper and less messy.
Coming up next, let's find out what happens when we don't know any of this history and feel entitled to hateful opinions like this one.
Why is it this illegal alien, this so-called migrant from Venezuela?
Part 2 coming next. Love you. Thank you. Bye.